welcome back to the channel. Pocket change coins, whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just someone fascinated by the world of rare currency, today's video is going to be a treat. We're diving into one of the most iconic and potentially valuable coins in US history, the 1971 Washington quarter. But this isn't just any regular quarter. If you're into collecting rare finds, this coin might just be one of those hidden treasures that could change your life. Now, when you think of a Washington quarter, you might picture the everyday change you find in your pocket or at the cash register. But the 1971 Washington quarter is a little different. There's more to this coin than meets the eye. Over the years, the US Mint has produced millions of quarters, but not all of them are created equal. Some have special features, errors, or unique characteristics that can drive their value sky high. So let's break down everything you need to know about the 1971 Washington quarter and why it could be worth more than just a quarter. First off, let's talk about the design of the 1971 Washington quarter. As with all Washington quarters, this one features the famous portrait of George Washington, our nation's first president. The design, created by John Flanagan, has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, and it continues to be beloved by collectors to this day. On the obverse side, you'll find Washington's bust in profile, surrounded by the inscription Liberty and the year 1971. You'll also see the motto, "In God We Trust," just under his chin. A simple yet powerful design that symbolizes American strength and unity. On the reverse side of the coin, we find the majestic American bald eagle, wings outstretched, perched atop a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. The eagle is a powerful symbol of America's strength, freedom, and peace, while the words United States of America and E pluribus unum encircle the image, reflecting the nation's unity and the idea that, out of many, one. But here's where it gets interesting. While the design of the 1971 Washington quarter is familiar to most, it's the coin's rarity, condition, and possible errors that make it stand out. So, what's really going on with this coin that makes it worth so much more than its face value? First, let's talk about rarity. The US Mint produced hundreds of millions of Washington quarters in 1971. That's a lot of coins that were circulated in day-to-day transactions. However, finding a 1971 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. The vast majority of these coins were used in everyday transactions, which means they have likely been worn down, scratched, or discolored over time. But if you happen to find a 1971 Washington quarter in mint condition, free from any signs of wear and tear, you're already looking at a coin that's worth more than just 25 cents. However, the real treasure comes when you're dealing with coins that have errors. Minting errors are one of the biggest factors that drive up the value of a coin. And believe it or not, there are several potential errors that could occur with a 1971 Washington quarter. The most sought-after error is the double die variety. This happens when a coin is struck twice, resulting in a doubled image. If you come across a 1971 Washington quarter with a doubled date, especially a noticeable doubling on the 1971 or the word Liberty, you could be looking at a highly valuable coin. These kinds of errors are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. Another minting error to look out for is the clash die error. This happens when two dies come together at the wrong time during the minting process, causing overlapping designs or other strange distortions. If you spot a 1971 quarter with a clash die error, it could also fetch a high price, especially if it's in good condition. These errors are unique and stand out from the typical coins, making them highly collectible, but even if you don't find any errors, the condition of the coin is key to its value. A 1971 Washington quarter in uncirculated condition can be worth a significant amount, especially if it's graded highly by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins that are graded MS-65 or higher, meaning they have minimal to no wear, are considered top tier and are highly sought after by collectors. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Now, let's talk about something even more exciting, the mint mark. Mint marks are small letters that appear on the coin to show where it was struck. The 1971 Washington quarter could have one of three mint marks: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all, which indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. Depending on the mint mark, certain varieties of the 1971 quarter are rarer than others. For example, quarters minted in San Francisco or Denver could be harder to find in uncirculated condition, which increases their overall value. So, how much could your 1971 Washington quarter be worth? If you have an uncirculated quarter or one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, a high-quality 1971 Washington quarter with the right features could be worth as much as $75,000, yes, that's right, $75,000. A quarter worth that much might seem unbelievable, but in the world of coin collecting, it's not as rare as you might think. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins like the 1971 Washington quarter, especially ones that are in mint condition or feature rare errors. If you've got one of these coins, or if you come across one while searching through your collection or your pocket change, you could be looking at a windfall that's far beyond what you initially thought. Today's video is something you won't want to miss. We're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1970 Washington quarter. Now, you might be thinking, a 1970 quarter? That's just another coin from the past. Well, you're in for a surprise. This coin has more to it than meets the eye, and if you happen to have one in your collection, you could be holding on to something much more valuable than you ever imagined. The 1970 Washington quarter was part of a series of quarters minted during the 1960s and 1970s. While the designs on the coin remained mostly the same, it's the minting process and the rarity of the 1970 coin that make it stand out in the world of coin collecting. So, let's take a closer look at this specific quarter and break down exactly why it could be worth a lot more than just 25 cents. First, let's start with the design. The 1970 Washington quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse. This design has been in use since 1932, when it was created by John Flanagan. It shows Washington in profile, with the words "Liberty" above and "In God We Trust" underneath his chin. The year 1970 is also inscribed along the bottom edge. This design is simple but powerful, reflecting Washington's role in the founding of the United States and the country's enduring values. On the reverse side, you'll find the majestic bald eagle, wings spread wide, holding a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. The eagle has been a symbol of strength and freedom for the United States for centuries, and this image on the quarter is no exception. Surrounding the eagle are the words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," emphasizing the unity and strength of the nation. At first glance, the 1970 Washington quarter might seem like just another ordinary coin. But here's where things get interesting. The value of this coin depends heavily on a few key factors, particularly its condition, rarity, and any potential minting errors. Condition is one of the biggest drivers of value in the world of coin collecting. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition can command a much higher price compared to those that have been heavily worn or damaged. Over the years, millions of 1970 Washington quarters were produced, but many of them were circulated and have visible wear and tear. If you happen to find one that looks as if it's just come out of the mint, free from scratches, discoloration, or other signs of use, you've got a valuable coin on your hands. Another factor to consider is the presence of mint errors. Minting errors can occur during the production process, and when they do, they make the coin stand out from the rest. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1970 Washington quarter is the double die variety. This happens when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, resulting in a double image. If you find a 1970 Washington quarter with a double date or any other doubled lettering, you could have a rare and valuable coin. These kinds of errors are highly collectible, and they can significantly increase the value of the coin. In addition to mint errors, you should also pay attention to the mint mark on the coin. The 1970 Washington quarter was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D, and those from San Francisco are marked with an S. Depending on the mint location, some of these quarters are rarer than others, which can impact their value. For example, quarters minted at the San Francisco Mint tend to be less common in circulation, especially those in pristine condition. As a result, these quarters are often more sought after by collectors. If you have a 1970 Washington quarter with an S mint mark and it's in excellent condition, you could be looking at a valuable piece of history. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1970 Washington quarter. While most of these coins are worth just 25 cents in everyday transactions, certain versions, especially those in uncirculated condition or with minting errors, can fetch significantly higher prices. A high-quality 1970 Washington quarter in pristine condition could easily be worth more than its face value, especially if it has a rare error or comes from one of the less common mints. So, how much could you get for your 1970 Washington quarter if it meets the right criteria? If you've got one in excellent condition, with a rare minting error or from a lesser-seen mint, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $78,000. Yes, you read that right, $78,000. A quarter worth that much might seem almost too good to be true, but in the world of coin collecting, rare and well-preserved coins like the 1970 Washington quarter can be worth a small fortune. Whether it's the rarity of the mint mark, the condition of the coin, or a unique minting error, these factors all contribute to the value of the coin, making it a highly sought-after collector's item. So, what should you do if you think you've got a 1970 Washington quarter that could be valuable? First, check the condition of the coin. If it looks brand new or has minimal wear, it's definitely worth holding on to. Next, take a look at the mint mark to determine where the coin was made. Finally, keep an eye out for any minting errors like double dies or other unique features. Today, we're diving into a coin that might not immediately jump out as a hidden treasure, but when you start digging, you'll realize that it's got some serious potential. Today, we're talking about the 1979 Washington quarter. It's one of those coins that many people overlook, but trust me, it might be worth way more than you expect. So, grab a seat and let's uncover the fascinating story behind this iconic American coin. First off, let's take a moment to appreciate the design of the 1979 Washington quarter. This quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation since 1932. The design you'll find on the 1979 quarter has George Washington's portrait on the obverse, created by John Flanagan. Washington's profile is beautifully rendered, and the inscription around his image reads, "Liberty," along with the year, 1979, and the familiar phrase, "In God We Trust." This design has been synonymous with American coins for decades, symbolizing the strength and leadership of the nation's first president. On the reverse side of the 1979 quarter, we have the iconic bald eagle. This design, which has been used on quarters since 1932, shows the eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing the balance between war and peace. The eagle is a true representation of the United States' strength, independence, and pride. Around the eagle, you'll find the words United States of America and the national motto, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, emphasizing the unity of the country. At first glance, the 1979 Washington quarter might seem like just another ordinary coin, but it holds an interesting place in coin history. The value of this coin depends heavily on a few key factors: condition, mint mark, and any potential errors. And it's these little details that can make all the difference when it comes to its worth. Now, let's talk about condition, which is one of the most important things to consider when it comes to coin collecting. The 1979 quarter was minted in large quantities and saw a lot of circulation over the years. That means many of these coins have been worn down by the rigors of everyday use, resulting in scratches, fading, and general wear. However, if you have a 1979 Washington quarter that has been kept in pristine condition, perhaps one that's been stored away in a coin jar or a collection, it could be worth a lot more than its face value. Coins that are in uncirculated or near perfect condition are always more valuable because they are much rarer than coins that have been heavily circulated. So, if you've got a 1979 quarter that still looks like it just came off the minting press, you might be holding on to something quite valuable, but wait, there's more. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is finding minting errors. These are the little quirks that happen during the production process, and they can make a coin highly collectible. The 1979 Washington quarter is no exception. Minting errors like double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes can add significant value to a coin. One of the most sought-after error varieties for the 1979 quarter is the double die variety. This occurs when a coin is struck twice by the die, creating a doubled image on the coin. If you happen to find a 1979 Washington quarter with a doubled date or any other doubled features, you could have a rare and valuable error coin in your hands. Mint marks are another important factor to consider when determining the value of your 1979 quarter. The mint mark tells you where the coin was produced, and different mint marks can affect the rarity and value of the coin. The 1979 Washington quarter was minted at several locations, including the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, while those minted in Denver have a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco have an S. Quarters with the S mint mark from San Francisco are generally less common, especially in higher grades, which makes them particularly desirable for collectors. The combination of a rare mint mark, excellent condition, and potential minting errors can push the value of a 1979 Washington quarter sky high. While most of these quarters are worth just 25 cents, some of them can be worth much, much more, especially if they've been well preserved or feature unique features. So, what's the price you can expect for a 1979 Washington quarter that's in excellent condition or features a minting error? If you've got a coin that's well kept, in uncirculated condition, and maybe even has a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth as much as $70,000. That's right, $70,000. A quarter that's worth $70,000 might sound too good to be true, but in the world of coin collecting, it's very possible. If you've got a 1979 Washington quarter that meets the right criteria, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. So, before you dismiss those old coins in your collection, take a closer look. You might just have a rare gem on your hands. Today, we're going to dive into a coin that you might have lying around in your pocket change, but trust me, it's much more valuable than it seems. We're talking about the 1982 Washington quarter, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors due to some interesting factors. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see just how much this seemingly ordinary quarter can be worth. Let's take a step back in time for a moment. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Fast forward to 1982, and this coin was still in regular circulation. But what sets the 1982 Washington quarter apart from the rest of the series? Well, there are a few things that make this coin really special, things you may not have noticed at first glance. First off, the design on the 1982 Washington quarter is pretty familiar to most of us. On the obverse, we see the iconic profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. His face is framed with the inscription, Liberty, the year, 1982, and, In God We Trust. Flanking Washington's portrait, you'll find the phrase, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, a reminder of the unity of our country. This design is one that has been with us for decades, embodying strength and resilience. On the reverse side, we're greeted by the American bald eagle, wings spread wide, clutching an olive branch and a bundle of arrows. The eagle's image has been used for many years, symbolizing the country's strength and its dual role as a peacemaker and defender. Surrounding the eagle are the words, United States of America, and, $quarter. But here's where things get interesting. Despite this coin's beautiful and recognizable design, the 1982 Washington quarter stands out due to its particular history and the way it was minted. If you take a closer look, you'll notice that there's a certain degree of variability in the production of these coins. For one thing, the 1982 quarter was produced in large quantities, and most of them were in regular circulation for many years. Many of these coins have seen their fair share of wear and tear. With years of being handled, dropped, and spent, these quarters are often found in a less than ideal condition, which can affect their value. However, if you manage to come across a 1982 Washington quarter in mint condition, one that has been well preserved or perhaps never even used in circulation, you've got yourself a rare find. Coins that have stayed in pristine condition are significantly more valuable because they are much rarer than coins that have been circulated. So, if you have a 1982 quarter that still shines as though it just came from the mint, you're looking at a higher price tag. One of the most important factors in determining the value of this coin is the mint mark. You'll find that the 1982 Washington quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, but those produced in Denver have a D mint mark, and the ones made in San Francisco have an S mint mark. While coins from Philadelphia are common, quarters minted in San Francisco, especially those marked with an S, are rarer and more valuable. This is especially true if the coin has been carefully stored and remains in excellent condition. So, if you happen to have a 1982 San Francisco minted quarter, keep an eye out. It could be a valuable gem.in addition to the standard production runs. The 1982 Washington quarter also saw some interesting minting errors, which can add significant value to the coin. Minting errors are fascinating to coin collectors because they are often one of a kind and can make a coin far more valuable than one that was struck properly. These errors could include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned dies. If you find a 1982 Washington quarter with any of these errors, especially in high-grade condition, your coin could be worth a small fortune. But what about the value? How much could a well-preserved 1982 Washington quarter actually be worth? Here's the exciting part: if you have a 1982 quarter that's in perfect or near-perfect condition, especially with an S mint mark or an error variety, it could be worth as much as $78,000. Yes, you heard that right, $78,000. It might seem hard to believe, but in the world of coin collecting, rare coins like this one can fetch impressive amounts of money. So, the next time you go through your coin collection or check your spare change, keep an eye out for a 1982 Washington quarter. It could be worth way more than you ever imagined. Now, here's something for you to think about. Have you ever come across a coin with a minting error or one in amazing condition? What's the rarest coin you've ever found? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and discoveries. Today, we're going to dive into a truly fascinating coin, the 1988 Washington quarter. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about a quarter from 1988? It's just another coin in circulation, right? Well, think again, because this particular quarter has a lot more value and intrigue than you might expect. Stick around as we explore the hidden worth of this quarter, and trust me, by the end of the video, you'll be checking your pocket change a lot more carefully. Let's rewind to 1988 for a second. The United States was in the midst of the 1980s, a period of economic growth and technological advancements. In the world of coins, 1988 marked another year for the Washington quarter, which had been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932. This coin, featuring the profile of George Washington, has been a beloved symbol of American history and strength. On the obverse side, Washington's iconic portrait stares proudly, surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year 1988. It's a reminder of our country's first president and the values of freedom and unity that he stood for. On the reverse side, we see the bald eagle, the symbol of strength and freedom, clutching an olive branch and arrows. The eagle's wings are spread wide, encircling the words, "United States of America," and "quarter dollar." This design has been a mainstay on U.S. quarters for decades, and while it's a beautiful and enduring representation of American values, there's more to the story than just the imagery. The 1988 Washington quarter may not seem like anything extraordinary at first glance, but there are a few key factors that make this coin stand out in the world of numismatics. Let's talk about what makes the 1988 quarter more valuable than you might think. First off, one of the most important aspects of any coin's value is its rarity, and in the case of the 1988 quarter, there's something to be said about the condition of the coin. The vast majority of 1988 quarters were circulated, meaning they were spent, used, and often subjected to wear and tear. Over time, most of these coins become worn down, losing their sharp details and smooth edges. This is where the real value lies. Coins that have been well preserved, especially those that have remained uncirculated, are much rarer and more valuable. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1988 quarter that looks like it just came out of the mint, you could be holding on to a real treasure. The coin's condition is paramount, and it's something collectors always look for. A quarter that has been carefully stored in pristine condition could be worth far more than its face value. But there's even more to this coin than its condition. Another thing to keep in mind is the mint mark. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced quarters in two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. The coins minted in Philadelphia typically don't have a mint mark, while those produced in Denver are marked with a D. Mint marks can play a significant role in a coin's rarity and value. For example, coins produced in smaller quantities or in certain locations are often more highly sought after by collectors. The 1988 Denver minted quarters can be particularly valuable, especially if they're in uncirculated or high-grade condition, but wait, there's more. Like many other years in the history of U.S. coin production, the 1988 quarter was not exempt from minting errors. Minting errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting because they're so unique and rare. These errors can range from double strikes to off-center designs, and they often make the coin much more valuable. Imagine owning a 1988 quarter with a double die or a misaligned strike. It could be worth thousands more than a standard issue. And yes, there are some lucky collectors who have stumbled upon these errored coins over the years. So, now you're probably wondering, how much could a well-preserved 1988 Washington quarter actually be worth? The answer might surprise you. If you have a 1988 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one minted in Denver or with a unique error, it could fetch a staggering $86,000, that's right, $86,000 for a single quarter. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a 1988 quarter, which most people would just pass by, could hold such value. And remember, the key to finding a coin worth that much is to carefully inspect it for condition, mint mark, and any possible minting errors. Here's a fun question for you. Have you ever come across a rare coin in your pocket change? Maybe a coin that you thought was just another piece of loose change, only to find out it was worth something much more? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your coin hunting stories and discoveries. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of the 1988 Washington quarter, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our future videos. We'll continue to explore more hidden gems and valuable coins, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.